Hey traders, Cody from Samurai Trading Academy here with another one of my Emini S&P 500 ES futures day trading recaps, and just take a look at some of my trading here. I thought it was not a bad day, a few points of profit. Probably had the opportunity to be quite a bit more than that, but I've been a little bit more aggressive with some things. But still being a little bit careful, particularly with shorts. You notice there's a few more shorts in here, and kind of being careful with those because we are up at these all-time high kind of levels. But still, an improved day over what we saw yesterday. A little bit more action, a little bit more swings going on. Still not quite as good as the result that I had earlier on Tuesday, but put together a pretty good week so far that I'm happy with. So didn't trade all that long in here. It's an hour and 15 minutes on the day. Started at the market open and caught a nice short here, which if you go and you look in, you'll see that it's a pretty clear area here that's kind of breaking down, and we're getting a little bit of a directional push and structurally fairly appealing for a little bit more downside. So took a couple points there and actually tried to latch back in to this trade here, but a little bit of a level, making it somewhat difficult. But I was trying to be a bit conservative on it earlier, and then when that didn't really fill, especially around that market open, you got to be really cautious because price can come back deeper or can fully reverse quite easily. So let's be maybe a little bit extra careful there, and unfortunately missed out on that one. We kind of continue to march down here before reaching a pretty major zone that could definitely bring in some buyers. And so not something I wanted to try to trade directly into. And these sort of areas where we know that previously there's been a major supply-demand imbalance, I want to make sure that if I do try to trade into something like that, that I've got a lot of momentum, that I've got a high likelihood of a retest. I don't want to try to kind of force my way in, especially when we get deep within the zone here, because this, even though it came back to test on the lower edge of it, can easily just test down at a very short distance and kind of shoot right back off. So these are the sort of areas I do like to avoid. We had a little bit of a structural shift here in terms of a higher high coming in, no higher low yet until this formed, but still fairly risky looking for that full-blown reversal. I did try to get long in here, just seeing the way that we were kind of attacking this major trend line with some pretty good momentum. Would have been happy to get long in here, just wasn't really able to. Again, lots of some no fills in here for me on the day, but still being fairly careful, fairly cautious with things. But as we were kind of pushing up through this area, not able to get in on this first long, still like the level here, because we're again pushing through these areas, reacting off levels. Notice I like trading off of levels and heading down into the next ones and trying to trade off levels again, looking for those reactions at those areas where that supply demand imbalance is likely to be, where some of that order flow is likely to come in my favor. We saw really strong sell-off here. This is actually a fairly aggressive trade for me, but basically a high momentum breakout move when we didn't pull back, when we started to consolidate in here. Did eventually come back, knocked me out, but no real worries there. I'm happy with that trade. Anytime I get that sort of momentum, I'm willing to be a little bit more aggressive, in line with the aggressiveness of the market, in line with that kind of aggressiveness in the price behavior itself. And most of the time, if I'm kind of going with that flow, going with that energy, that will carry me into some profitability. But just no such luck on that one here, and continue to push down. Took a short here where probably could have been in a little bit earlier, but knowing that things were a little bit sideways at this point and kind of working within some of these ranges, that I was only willing to take a little bit less risk compared to kind of the earlier stuff when we were swinging a little bit better. And then another just structural shift here as we push into a lower low after testing this area a few times at the 0.50, failure to follow up, and multiple tests here, and then that push down, and that structure is starting to shift over, and a good area to take a short there just to test down that next zone. And did push a little bit lower. I probably could have targeted this next zone, picked up an extra couple ticks at least, and got my normal sort of 2 points that I typically aim for. But a little bit wary of this area reacting because of the type of ranging environment that we are in. So I was happy to take the profit off the table. If I hadn't got that fill on the edge, probably would have brought it in a tick or so and taken it there, but worked out fairly well in the end, and overall was a fairly profitable day, even with admittedly a little bit of missed opportunity there. Probably should have been a bit of a better one if I was being a bit more aggressive. But I always tend to be a little bit cautious as we get up into these sort of all-time high levels, just because the market tends to get a little bit hesitant and a little bit jumpy at times, just with kind of a lot of major players waiting to see how the market reacts at these sort of levels that it hasn't really tested. So 3 points, perfectly good result. And hopefully, see a pretty good result for tomorrow as well, and really wrap the week up on a very positive note. So hope your trading went well, and I'll talk to you guys soon.